What is going on, my homies? I got the old sneak video. I always try to bring you the sneak, and I think this is gonna cut it. It's freaking crankbait season, dude. It's a small window that happens kind of in early summer, and these fish absolutely annihilate and react to a crankbait, dude. It's so much fun. So what we're gonna do is I got a little two-part series coming for you. Part one, we're actually going to test one of like the OG crankbaits, and it's actually kind of sneaky because I think guys have forgotten about it. And then in the next video, we're gonna dive deep into the whole crankbait collection that I have. I'm gonna show you raw my box, dude. I've caught 49 pounds in multiple 40-pound bags on crankbaits. What differentiates and what factors play into picking the right crankbait for the right situation? So I got my hands on some of these PH custom. These are actually the Ledge P12 and the Ledge P16. Now, what's the main factor that separates them? So obviously you have Rapala, you know, Balsa baits, right? But they're sort of like factory produced. They're not like custom, like legit custom crankbaits. Each one is hand tuned. They're kind of their own little shape. The density of wood per bait is different on every single one. They're a little pricey, and sometimes they're a little harder to cast. There's no doubt about that, but they provide a different vibration because one, they're made of balsa, right? There's no rattle in there. And two, the balsa, because it has that different density, can provide different sounds and different kind of subtleties in that vibration and in that thump when you're actually cranking. So you can get an absolutely unique bait that sounds like nothing else out there. Sounds like you might catch some bass, right? So before we get out there and go start slanging them, I'm gonna show you a couple like kind of cool retrieves too, because there's one huge mistake that a lot of people make when crankbait fishing. I don't care if it's a balsa bait or a plastic bait, but it's a consistent mistake I see when guys are cranking this time of year. But the setup that we're using is I have a monster bass. This is actually the lunker stick cranking rod. I have that with an SLX DC, that's a Shimano. I run Seaguar Red Label, 12 pound. It's a simple kind of all-purpose fluorocarbon that's pretty reasonable at Tackle Warehouse. I like the 12, a lot of guys will go down to 10. I used to throw a lot of 10. The biggest issue that we have with 10 is it gets nicked up a lot. You'll get more depth out of the crankbait, you'll get longer casts, but you're having to respool over and over and over again. Speed on that reel is in that 6 range. I don't go any faster than that. I don't go any slower. A lot of guys say you want to use like a 5 speed. Well, they can enjoy that. That's exhausting, dude. And when you hook a big fish, you can't keep up with them. Plus, you can't do the trick that I'm about to show you when you're actually fishing and reeling this bait. So hit that like and subscribe button. We're gonna dive deep into the old cranked baiter. Oh dear. See them all right there? That's a freaking lot of them, dude. Naughty. When it comes to crankbait retrieves, there's really two that I use the most. The first one, always want to bomb it, dude. Like as far as you can. You get it down, I kind of cup the reel with my hands, and I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4, kill, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. It's a lot like that jerkbait retriever we're using, and basically that bait's just pausing, and maybe with the buoyancy of the balsa, gently raising for a second and then darting back down, and that pause really makes him kind of, I guess, think about it, because a lot of times I'll go to reel right after that pause, and dude, I'm locked up. The other one that I'm doing, and this is how we actually caught the 49 pounds, you're really using the bill of the crankbait to act as a bulldozer to dig trenches. Once again, make that bomb cast as far as you can. You're gonna get it down, and a lot of times you don't want to reel too fast when you're getting it down, otherwise it could cause the crankbait to roll. But once you get it down there, you're pulling on it. You're getting it down to the bottom, and you're using your rod tip to kind of sweep it and grind it and pull it that extra bit to the bottom. What's actually gonna happen is the crankbait's gonna slow down, and it's gonna feel like it's almost like dead stopped. And you're just dredging, digging stuff up, and at some point, your whole rod's just gonna load up, and you're gonna go to kind of like pull it again, and your rod's just gonna be locked up, dude. It's crazy. It's almost like they go into that silt and all that, and they find the bait and find that action, that vibration, and they just suck it up as they're following it, and that's how you get them to react. Oh. There she is. That feels like a good one. That's old head shaking Larry. Stay out of the motor, Larry. Larry's going to the motor. Bro, he's got this crankbait chowed. Look at this, bro. Look how he freaking ate that freaking crankbait, dude. Holy crap. Hashtag Balsa, boys. Bro, that's a freaking chonker. There she is. Well, I think we got a great big one. Yep. Oh dear, did he come off? Nope. Oh, not. That's another freaking chunka wonka bunk. Oh, he's only got one hook. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's another 5-pounder, dude. So what I didn't tell you guys about this school is somebody's been beating on it for the past like hour and a half. And I didn't know if we could get in here and, oh God, she got it. And get them to bite again. But that's where that balsa comes in handy, bro. So angry. Okay, I get it. I just gotta make sure you're doing it right. Check that bill and it's all ground up. So I want to show you a little trick that I do, and I've showed it to you. You guys that stick with the videos, you've seen it a million times, but there's still guys that don't do it. And I think it's one of the easiest things you can do to be efficient with a crankbait, and that's this little guy right here. This is an owner hyper weld little clip. There's no swivel on it, but what it allows me to do, I use these with my top waters as well as my crankbaits, like my build crankbaits. No other lure whatsoever. Don't throw it on braid. You'll have a bad experience. Don't throw it on spinner baits. Just build crankbaits in top waters. And what it allows you to do is there's a little split ring on that crankbait. It makes it super quick and easy to change out what crankbait you're throwing. So if I want to go to the old yellow joker like this right here, and I want to swap out because I think they're going to chew on that dead mustard color more, I can just unclip it instead of tying knots and doing all that shenanigans. It makes it a lot more efficient, and in my opinion too, you get kind of a funky little maybe tick when you're actually reeling it, and it gives the bait a lot more free motion because it has that gap in there, almost like you're tying on with a loop knot. A lot of guys don't reel a crankbait fast enough. It's freaking exhausting, but like the whole art of this is, I mean, like grinding it, dude, and making that thing, there she is, get down there with a paw. Oh, that's another big one, dude. With a pause. Sometimes like the stop and go. Oh, yeah, thought he was a lot bigger than that. Get in here. But the whole reason they're eating it, God, look how fat he is a reaction. It's 100% them reacting to that bait, and that's why that vibration is so important. Broheems, I've been dodging storms for the past hour and a half. I gotta get out of here. We banked up 20 pounds, dude. Not bad, especially for like an hour and a half of fishing, especially on a school that a guy was sitting on for like 2 hours. And that kind of leads to sort of the conclusion of this video. There's a few different factors that you have to weigh when you're looking at these balsa baits, and I'm gonna break them down for you and give you kind of a wrap, because really the price point on a balsa, it's gonna be higher. On a custom lure, it's gonna be higher than your standard traditional 6XDs, your plastic style baits. Do you need it? Like, that's the biggest question, right? So when it comes down to it, one of the biggest kind of shortcomings, I guess you could say, with these guys, and it's the pH, it's the Rapala, whatever kind of balsa you're talking about, is castability. So you guys probably saw in the video, one way I addressed that is you saw me back casting, right? I set the boat up in front of the target that I'm trying to hit, in front of the school, the structure, whatever it is, and I'm back casting. I'm using the wind to kind of elevate and distance my cast. They are a little harder to cast. You get that little golf slice from time to time. In my opinion, this is the only truly silent crankbait that's out there. I know Strike King makes that silent 6XD. Not a huge fan. I've never gotten one to run truly the way I want it to. So other than like the hook jangle on these guys, the balsa, it doesn't have the weight transfer system, so it's a 100% like silent bait. And I think that's becoming more and more important as these fish get pressured. Balsa is a lot more buoyant than plastic, so if you got a lot of junk on the bottom, a lot of stumps, things along those lines, you're gonna get a much quicker rise from this bait. It's gonna be diving down and rise up. You get kind of a unique sort of float and a unique like sort of suspension. So if you guys were watching closely, I was doing that power reel, right? 5 reel, stop, 5 reel, stop. This bait is going to rise much quicker and do kind of a funky little wobble as it's rising versus your plastic style baits. And I think that was one of the keys, especially with that big like 5.5, 6 pounder that we caught. That bait kind of stopped and went up and she crushed it. There's something about that rise, and that's really, overall, that's the biggest benefit to this balsa, because the build consistency is different in every single bait. It's a custom bait, right? The price point reflects that, it's a little bit higher, but also the performance and the action reflect that. Every single one is unique. And on a place like Guntersville that gets thousands of boats every week, every 2 weeks, that are banging crankbaits off the bottom, off of stumps, off of hard spots, anything I could do to be slightly different is a huge player for me. Now, I want to show you one little mod that you can do with these balsa baits, and it's something that I implement when I'm trying to get the bait a little bit deeper, or I'm trying to play with the rise of the bait. And so, like I said, these are extremely buoyant. You guys have seen me use these guys on my swim baits. These are Bait Sanity tungsten strips. They're like little strip stickers. You can use them on jerk baits, you can use them on glide baits, whatever. I take one of these guys, and they look like a little sticker tab, and you can put it vertical or crossways on that bill, and you're going to achieve two things by that. One, you're going to increase the angle of the dive on the bait, thus getting it deeper. You're also going to slow down the rise, not significantly, nothing crazy, but it is going to slow that rise. It's also going to keep weight down, so that rise is almost going to be a shimmy backwards like that, instead of just kind of floating straight up. And it's a simple way that you can kind of add a little bit of extra to the nose of that bait, so you can bomb it a little better, get it down a little bit deeper, and get a little bit different action out of it. So that's a wrap on Balsa. I'm gonna put a link to that PH Custom for you guys to check out. You have to evaluate whether you need it for your fishery. Do you have a pressured fishery? Do they see a bunch of crankbaits? Are you looking for something that's more buoyant, that comes off the bottom quicker because you got a bunch of cover? Weigh those things, but it might 100% be worth it to do something a little bit different for your fishery. And definitely stay tuned. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, and turn on those notifications. YouTube always never shows my videos, but it is what it is. We're gonna dive deep into the rest of my crankbait box. I'm gonna show you why I have every single lure in there and what role it plays when we're in this season, when it's really tough to beat burning a freaking plug, dude. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. We busted long over 100K, and it's really thanks to you. I will see you guys back out on the water talking about some crankbaits and some deep water offshore fishing.